Welcome to the Homeschool Mama Self-Care Challenge. I am Teresa Wiedrick, the homeschool life coach over at www.capturingthecharmlife.com. And I want to invite you to the 5 days of wellness for Homeschool Mom Challenge over at the Facebook group Homeschool Mama Support Group. What are we going to do? We're going to have 5 days of short lives discussions between you and me about the practical things you can do in your homeschool life to make you really just enjoy your homeschool life a little bit more. Here's the general topic areas where we're going to have a discussion. These 5 things are the 5 elements that I've seen have had the greatest impact on my satisfaction in my homeschool life. If I haven't already told you, I'm Teresa. I've been a homeschool mom for a couple decades, less than a couple decades, of 4 kids now aged almost 15 to 22. And I've got 3 kids graduated. One just started high school this year, and I apparently have more time on my hands. I have discovered that there are 5 general categories of things that we need to focus on to enjoy homeschool mom lives more. The first one is to lean into child-led learning, because it doesn't matter what method you love, what method you want to follow, what method you discovered and are excited about. Every single one of those methods need to focus on your child as a center, because guess who's getting home educated? Your child. And actually you. But anyway, I digress. Definitely your child. So the child is at the center. And also, I learned a lot in my homeschool. I don't know about you, but I learned a lot. So we're going to talk about deschooling strategies, how you can actually move into child-led learning, get away from conventional, traditional approaches that aren't serving you and your kids. The second thing that we're going to do is have a discussion on big emotions and come up with some strategies or tools to address big emotions. Whose big emotions? Your big emotions. I don't know what we're talking about. Telling everybody, all our parents of the world, to help our children with their big emotions when we weren't taught. So, of course, it's valuable to address our kids' big emotions, kind of necessary, even, obviously. But you know what? If we don't know how to do it for ourselves, how are we doing it for our kids? So I'm going to bring you a few strategies or tools that I've learned while I'm still learning and I'm still practicing. But big emotions and overwhelm, stress, just all the big feelings that we have, doubt, especially if you're in the earlier homeschool years, all of those big emotions need a tool or two. So we'll talk about that on one of the days. We're also going to talk about, obviously, self-care strategies, because it's me. I wrote the book Homeschool Mama Self-Care, Nurturing the Nurturer. Then I started all this homeschool, some mama self-care stuff online. And then I started a podcast. And then all the things, all based under the self-care thing for a reason, because I needed it. By the 3rd or 4th year, when I was burned out, stressed out, done with the kids, wanted to send everybody back to school, even though only one of them actually went to school, but find any school and school bus whatsoever, I discovered that I had to take care of me as well as the kids. It's not selfish. Self-care is necessary because it acknowledges that you are a human too. And humans have needs, and needs need to be dealt with. Not just your kids' needs, yours too. So on one of the days, we'll talk about self-care strategies, and I'll offer you a free mini retreat all week long. I'm going to offer you free tools or strategies or different things that I've created, because I've actually created a lot of free resources for moms. And so I'm going to make sure that you have them in your hands so you can use them. One of the other days, we're going to have a discussion on boundaries. Oh, now when I'm talking about boundaries, I am talking about big B boundaries and small b boundaries. Big B boundaries are those like, whoa, someone overstepped my boundaries and shouldn't have done certain things. We're humans when we're entering this mothering space, and we have relationships when we enter this homeschooling space. And when we begin to live in the world of relationships and family, we discover there are relationships that we have to clarify. We have to clarify how we want to show up and how we want to relate with others and what we expect of others in how they relate to us. So sometimes we're dealing with big B boundary issues, but we are almost always dealing with small b boundary issues. And what I mean by small b boundary issues is, when you go to a family event and someone says to your child, child, do you know what the capital of such and such a country is? And they get a quiz every time they visit that family member. And you have to figure out what you're going to do about that. Do you do nothing? You feel offended. Your child is 4. Why are they asking? Or maybe they're 5. And so every time you're having to deal with this boundary challenge, what do you do about it? I've actually learned that dealing with boundary issues, and when I speak about building boundaries, I offer a group coaching program and will be soon doing that. Um, a, a building boundaries isn't just about saying no to people, it's also about saying yes to us and figuring out who we are versus who we're not. When we get clear on those things, then putting into practice no seems a lot easier. It's just a lot easier. There's a big discussion we talk about in building boundaries that has kind of nothing to do with directly establishing a boundary between one person and another. But it's more about you developing you and coming into who you are, getting clear on who you are. But instead of using that aspect of our discussion in the building boundaries day of this wellness challenge, we're going to discuss it in a separate day of the wellness challenge, the You Be You pillar of the wellness challenge. Here's why. Because it's easy for us as moms to get lost in motherhood. And it's a beautiful thing, this motherhood, most days. And it really is. It's a beautiful thing. We're creating these relationships that we are so grateful for and creating memories that are off the charts when we're homeschooling. It's a beautiful life. And also, it is not solely the only person or role that's here. We are mothers. We're always going to be mothers, but there are different elements of us that I think we need to explore because one day I'm not the only one that is going to experience when kids launch and move on to the next phase of their lives. Everyone experiences that. But I don't think we should wait until our kids launch to develop ourselves and get to know ourselves, spend time with ourselves, foster our creativities. Sometimes we want to build a business and work while we're homeschooling. I actually work with other homeschool moms to help build their businesses. I love doing that. It's so much fun, partly because it's just fun. And also, I love supporting women to become fully them and to do something that serves the homeschool community. So it's super fun. But I would lovingly invite you to this 5-day wellness challenge. It's free. You can just join the Facebook group, Homeschool Mama Support Group, and it's going to start next Monday. So you got to go there now and join the group. On Thursday, I'll share all about it, what we're going to do. And if you've got any questions, let me know. But otherwise, I'll see you in the Facebook group, Homeschool Mama Support Group.